Hello everyone and welcome back to Chris Aquatics. In today's video I'm going to be doing an update on my Bloody Mary shrimp, as it's been quite a bit since I posted the first video. Time flies, so I thought I'd do an update on how these guys are going. I've just upgraded to stronger filtration, fire, sponges on all the tanks, so there's a lot more flow when it comes to bubbles due to the high pressure that I'm using now, which I wanted. So it's a bit louder, I hope that's okay. But yeah, so you're taking a look at the Bloody Marys at the moment. We are doing really well. All the babies that were, well, I think the females had the eggs at the time I filmed the last video. They're all getting to start to be juveniles now. And then there's some buried females again. And then there's some smaller babies to our tank. So you can kind of see the size difference. That's probably like a week or two old. And then you got ones that are just a bit bigger, and then you got bigger ones. But yeah, most of my females are buried up again, which is pretty awesome. This is a holding tank for boost for a mate at the moment. But yeah, I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of an insight on how I'm doing with these guys. So it's just been lots of feeding, keeping on top of it, giving the females lots of protein so that they can get through their pregnancy without having any issues, get all the babies out. And yeah, like, they look really healthy. Sometimes the camera doesn't want to focus, but you're getting some really deep reds on these females, which is really awesome. I'll find an example for you guys. So you can see here, this is probably like a first generation female that came from this one on the right. So you can see how much deeper of a red. It's not as easy to see on camera as opposed to that one. It's a little bit harder to spot. In person it's very easy to tell, but on camera it's not. But you can see that they're all buried, you got all the babies. So I'm gonna feed these guys for you and we'll see how that looks. So these guys aren't in a huge tank. It's not that big of a tank at all. I'll have the dimensions for this one down in the description. And I've got 3 of these at the moment, so grow out, and then I've got snowballs in here. You can kind of see. And then I've got yellows in here, and the Bloody Marys. So the Bloody Marys are, you can see all the babies, they can smell the food, so they're gonna start flying out. This will get covered pretty quickly. But yeah, I'm kind of getting overrun with these guys, so I'm starting to probably have to sell them, or I'm thinking I'll have to upgrade their tank, but I haven't decided what I'm doing with that yet. So yeah, I'll just get a bit of video of them eating. And something I thought I'd let you guys know with Bloody Mary, I don't know if you can sort of see, but when it comes to the babies, like the newborns, they are very much they're not bright in color. So you can see that these ones are so much lighter in color, and then as they get older, they darken up until they become adults. When they're born, they're almost completely clear, just like all the way over there. That's not gonna focus at all. Here we go. So they're almost completely clear, just like that. And it kind of puts people off, I'd say, because they look like red cherries at this point, but they start to color up really nicely when they become adults. Now when it comes to feeding these guys, I have been feeding them a lot of snowflake, but they'll demolish this so fast since there's so many of them at this point. But I also supplement with different other things too, so I have fresh mulberry leaves that I boil, and I just got some more Indian almond leaves, so I've got quite a few of these now. It's like 40 or 50 here. They came in really the airtight things, the vacuum seal bags, whatever. This is the best for the females. I feed them the protein from the Shrimp King. Really helps with the breeding process. It makes them want to breed a lot faster too, from what I've realized. And then I have bristlenose, so I have these on hand, but I also feed them to the shrimp too. I try to keep one food in the tank at once, and sometimes I go with cucumbers as well. They tend to eat that too. But it's more trying to keep the tank as simple as possible. Now, I'm not a big fan of substrate anymore in this tank, or any of them for that matter, to be honest. I'm gonna probably do a video when I'm doing some changes to these tanks of just completely removing all of the substrate from the whole front section. I might leave the back, but I don't plant anything in here. This is just a huge clump of Java moss, and then there's this potted boost that's spread out, and then there's different types of other mosses throughout the tank too. I don't really put much effort in the sense of looks for my shrimp tanks, because I'm looking at the shrimp, not the escape, I guess. But if you'd be interested in me trying to escape one of these, feel free to let me know, and I'll give it a go, I guess. One of the best things you want to, you can kind of see on the sides. I always keep the front clear so I can see in, but you can see on the sides there's a green tint. That's all the green algae that I want on the side of the glass. The babies will graze on that. They're not grazing on it at the moment because they're down at the food, but you can see what I mean by they use it as a grazing wall. I can show you maybe in another tank. There's the yellow tank, you can see the on the wall grazing. There's not really much in the snowball tank for them to graze on, so can't really show that tank, but you kind of get the idea of how you want to grow your own food for them. It also might be a little hard for my camera to pick up, but if you look really closely, there's lots of tiny organisms. You can sort of see, they look like tiny baby shrimp. I don't really know the exact names of all of them, but having these in your tank is not a bad thing, guys. Do not worry about it. If anything, it tells you that your tank is healthy. That's a good sign in my opinion. So don't worry about having these in your tank. You just want as much surface area for biofilm to grow for the shrimp and they'll thrive. This isn't a big tank, so you can kind of see how you can get pretty good success. I mean, I've got over 100 in here, easy. You can kind of see how I do it. But with shrimp tanks, you kind of want to keep the bioload as low as possible. This having so many shrimp in here, this needs more water changes than another tank like the snowball tank because there's not as much shrimp in there. And you can see that the water's not as clear as the other tanks either. It gets a lot more dirtier in this tank. It's also a problem due to snails, so you don't want to have too many snails. It's a bit annoying with the baby ones, but I tend to crush them, so you can sort of see how the shrimp are eating that crushed one from before. So I crushed a couple on the front glass and the shrimp will eat it. So yeah, this is like basic food that you can grow for them. That's the remnants of an Indian almond leaf, hence why I bought more. I don't focus on TDS, pH or anything like that. Temperature, this tank's not heated. Everyone has their different opinions on it. I have mates that go with tanks that are heated, mates that don't, and I've never really used a heater, so yeah, I mean, like, success, obviously you get more breeding with a heater, but it's a lot more effort to have one. I don't trust heaters. I tend to really want to just wait till I have my own shrimp room or like a fish room and I can just heat the room to the temperature, not specific tanks, as heaters aren't the greatest. If you guys would have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, and any questions about the Bloody Marys in specific. I started with 5, so you can get pretty far. It's probably been about 8-9 months now since I've had them, so they go pretty well, and I have sold I think 20 so far that were almost adult size, probably just about that size there above my finger, so you can get some pretty good success. These aren't the most expensive shrimp, but they're also a lot more expensive than cherries, so you can get a bit more profit out of these ones too. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and leave any suggestions you'd have down below, or any of your past experiences with Bloody Marys, and maybe I might learn something. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you learned something from me. I'll catch you later. Bye bye.